Well, I will start with Coco. And I share completely what Romeo said about the combination, which has been unpredictable and so pleasant to have between you. I think it has been a way to reinforce each other and a way to facilitate our job. Believe me, it has been a pleasure and an honor to work with you. Said that, I have two key words, but one for Coco, one for Maga. The one for Coco is otherness. And I think that she has dealt with otherness constantly since the first day. What I realized is that the first impression I had of you is that you perceived your own otherness instead of the otherness of Italy when you came here. It's quite interesting, this kind of process, because generally when someone comes from abroad in an American institution as SACI perceives Italy as something that we have to deal with. And by you perceived your own difference and separation from the country. And all of your work has been an attempt, very successful indeed, to fill the gap. That's what I think. The first step has been the language. And I think that learning Italian has been a fundamental step for you. Believe me, Coco speaks an excellent Italian. And I hope she won't forget it. And I hope you will keep staying here because, you know, practice makes the success of the knowledge of a language. She has learned Italian, and all her work has been about building bridges between her and the comprehension of a country, the comprehension of the other. And that's what she's done with all of her projects. Someone said, and I agree completely with that she's been an activist photographer. What does it mean? You can photograph in many ways. Eduardo Galeano, and this is my gift for you, said it in a beautiful way. He said that charity is vertical and it humiliates. Solidarity is horizontal and it helps. And that's what I've tried to do, I guess. And that's what you have succeeded in doing, I'm sure of. What does it mean? That in all the projects you've done, and I'm not talking about the first year, but I'm talking about the second year project, you stayed in between, you shared a space, and you tried to be horizontal, to look at people straight in the eye. I don't know how many of you have had the luck to go to the exhibition that takes place, that has been organized at Il Ponte Gallery, but the meaning of those large portraits lay in this desire by Coco to make those faces and those identities unavoidable. And I think she succeeded fully in doing this. And I think it's the best praise I can make of you. You made those identities, those stories, unavoidable and necessary. The last thing I can tell you is about something that I completely believe. The base of aesthetic is ethic. And you do things when they are needed. You do things because you think they're necessary. It is the only way to survive a world where the dissemination of images has become chronicle and insane. The only reason why someone should continue to photograph is because he or she wants to create something which corresponds to her private, deep necessities. And I think you've done it. And it's the best thing I can tell of you. I have a wish for you. I wish you to keep this consciousness and to look restlessly and without ever being discouraged for the fleeting, fragile balance of whoever makes the choice like you. Being a witness and being an activist. Being in front and being inside. Because don't forget this, photographing as well as living is not just having a point of view, it's being a point of view. Thank you. And this is for you, Maga. Well, the best comment about Maga was made by Anne, who is here, I guess. During the review, she said that Maga Margareta does justice to her name. And I believe so. Maga is a problem-solving woman, is a patient, wise, curious, and interested and involved. And the last adjective is one of the most important, I think. There is a question that came out during the review, and it was a simple one. She had alluded to the fact that the photography experimented during the 2-year program at SACI had opened many doors. And I made a question. which doors exactly? And she said a very simple thing that could be the last and final comment about Maga's work. I spent a lifetime representing the others, and sometimes without being fully convinced about certain politics, but because I felt the necessity of doing it. And for the very first time, I had a chance to represent myself somehow, and to look in depth inside myself, and to respond to the questions that I have for myself, and to give an answer when possible, and in the best way I know. And I think you've done. Which questions are Maga's? Well, the key word is time, is a double word, it's time and memory. All her work is about that. Whoever saw the prints that she hung in the Ponte Gallery could agree with me about the fact that you have the impression of looking at the past that is asking to whisper to the present. That combination of posters that correspond to the present and images from Maga's past are the attempt of responding to a dilemma. What is the time? What is the time about? Maga's work made me think about St. Augustine, that said once, I know what is the time, but when people ask me what it is, I don't know what to say. And maybe it could be the combination of past, present, and future. But past doesn't exist any longer. Future doesn't exist yet. So maybe the time is the present of the past, the present, and the present of the future. The memory, concludes St. Augustine, is the present of the past. And that's what you've done, in my opinion. I have a gift for you, too, which is a poem by a great woman, Wisława Szymborska, and which is titled The Three Oddest Words. I hope my pronunciation is understandable, because the quality of Szymborska's poem deserves very good English, and I'm not sure mine is. When I pronounce the word future, the first syllable already belongs to the past. When I pronounce the word silence, I destroy it. When I pronounce the word nothing, I make something no being can hold. Thank you.